It's our first day of building. We set the pilings close to 2 months ago, and we've been hoping lumber prices come down. They kind of did. Just 3 weeks ago when I priced 3x8s, they were $84 a piece. We got them today for $47 a piece. Yep. So when I set these pilings, the holes are 4 feet deep. There's 4x4s. They're 6 foot on center, and then I kind of just taper off the concrete there, almost to make a pyramid shape to help water run off. I spiked the poles, which means throughout the 4x4 that's underground, I just took Deckmate screws and I ran them in so they stuck out about 1.5 inches all the way around the pole, kind of in a spiral shape, so that the concrete grabs the nail and kind of keeps the post. If the concrete were to crack away from the post will hold the concrete and not continue to sink. And then at 4 foot, I put 6 inches of dry concrete, which creates kind of a plug, and then set the posts, leveled them up, plumbed them up, and poured the concrete around that with the spikes. The spikes are just screws. You can use nails, anything that the concrete can latch onto. So now we got the 3x8s. This is going to be our basically the foundation for this kind of stilted pier and beam. This is a tiny house and a cabin. It's 32 feet long. We're 6 feet on center all the way down. It's a split elevation, as you can see. We got pilings sticking up over there. So we're terracing off our property into 3 levels because we're like a 4 foot difference from the back of the property to the front of the property. So what we did is to start this, I set these pilings months ago, like I said. So as the treated lumber dries, it's gonna start to change shape. Initially, these were all in line beautifully all the way down, and so now they're drying out. You can see them checking there. So I put a mark here on the top of this pole. So from the outside of this post to the outside of that post is 93 inches. Okay, I needed 96. So I'm using a 3x8, which they vary in size. Some are 3 1/4, some are 3, some are 2 7/8. But it's a true 3 inch by 8 inch. So I have 1.5 inch hangover here because I'm notching this post out to support this 3x8. Same thing on the other side. So I needed 3 inches, 1.5 inches on this side hanging over, 1.5 inches on that. That's where we're gonna get our 96 to make our 8 foot. So to make sure these were straight, I came over here 1.5 inches. I went down to the very last piling over there and put a mark at 1.5 inches, and you can see it here. So here's my 1.5 inches here, and then actually no, I measured from the outside of that pole 93 inches and I put a mark. And you can see this mark is about 1/4 inch off, so that means this pole has leaned out over the last 2 months. So there's my 93 inch mark, and then came over 1.5 inches, put a mark, and down here I did the same thing. I came from the outside of that pole, came over here, put a mark, and then I clamped my level to that mark. I went back to the other side, ran my chalk line from that 1.5 inch marker, 1 3/4 actually, all the way over here to this edge of this level, brought it down a little bit and chalked a line. So that the high posts now are in line with this pole, so our rim or our base is going to be running straight. So now what I'll do is I got my mark here. I got my mark at the closest high post there with my chalk line. I'm going to run a plumb line down and then attach a string here, run it to my plumb line, and then chalk these off as well. So we will have exactly 96 inches from edge of 3x8 to edge of 3x8 continuous down the structure. So it's a process. It doesn't take much time. It just takes a little figuring, and you get to pay attention to the thicknesses of your boards. So I measured my boards and kind of put them out to the outside and marked the bottoms and tops, make sure they were level. And now when I go through, I have to go check the thicknesses of my boards and then cut in the thicknesses, the difference in thickness between what your variation is, because I got a board here that's 3 1/4. It's not 3 inches, so I'll have to adjust that chalk line over, my marks over, so when I notch these posts out, see here, these are, so the board actually insets 1.5 inches. Once this is all locked together, it will still be strong, even though we only have, you know, 2 inches of board sticking here. But it's going to be great. We're excited.